Hey, Mrparka here to review a new one that's actually coming out on VOD in HD on demand March 3rd. Yeah, this is called Lavender. I had not heard much about it. The trailer caught my interest, so I reached out for a review, and they sent me a screening link. Lavender actually stars Dermot Mulroney from Young Guns, if you guys remember, and Justin Long from Jeepers Creepers, among other things. Abbie Cornish is the star of the film. It follows a woman who has a kind of a shaky past. She has a fascination with taking pictures of old houses, and she takes her daughter along and things like that. And one day she comes across this strange house that reawakens all these old feelings she has. Shortly after, she's in a car accident, and it's noticed that she has some head trauma from earlier in her life. These are a bunch of suppressed memories, and they all start to come back. She realizes that that house was her childhood house, and she goes back, and more mysterious things start happening, while her marriage is kind of on the rocks, and her child's starting to see strange things as well. What we have here is definitely kind of a psychological horror film with definitely a haunting aspect to it, and a murder mystery as well. The movie kind of toys or plays with the ideas of maybe something bigger, something in the shadows that would be much appreciated, but it never quite gets there, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But it does hint at these ideas. What Lavender has going for it is some really nice locations. The outside locations of the farmhouse that she's going to are really great. The fields are used in isolation, and it's kind of cool that it's very bright outside, but also creepy things are happening. That's not an easy thing to pull off, and they do it decently in here. Some of the scares, are generic, but they work. I mean, if they work, why not do them, I guess, is what they're thinking. Lots of things coming under the bed, things coming behind them, creepy little children, bedtime stories, things like that. Some of the aspects I didn't particularly like about the movie were the psychiatrist angle. I mean, there's always a psychiatrist angle in these movies, and I think that the twist with the psychiatrist was... slight spoilers there, guys, sorry. But not necessarily twist, but the deal with the psychiatrist was not really working for me. I just didn't particularly like it. I think that the lead, at times she's really good, but in particular moments she comes across as a little cheesy for the movie, just in the car crash, and I don't really think that's her fault. I think how the scene was filmed in slow motion, it comes across cheesy, and her facial expressions and are done in slow motion. And that whole scene should have been pretty dramatic, but I thought it was kind of weak during the car accident. I think the husband's pretty sympathetic, and there's some decent sympathetic characters in here. Again, it hints at a lot of stuff that I wish were in there. It kind of sucks you in with the idea of all this crazy mystical, maybe not mystical, but folklore and things like that. And there's some strange things happening, but in the end it kind of turns out to be something fairly typical, fairly well acted, with some decent scares, and it's well shot. It is a bit of a slow burn. At about 50 minutes you really start to see what's going on here, and by then you might be checked out. Do I think it's awful? Absolutely not. Do I think it's amazing? Absolutely not. It's like I said, a psychological haunting film with a nice location and some decent scares. But besides that, it feels very typical, is what I'd say. It's a typical, kind of solid haunting movie that dives into the mind a little bit, and you're not going to see anything you haven't seen before. You're not going to be blown away anywhere, but you may enjoy yourself for an hour and 30 minutes. And it might be worth checking out if the trailer piques your interest. There's some interesting concepts going on in here, and I did enjoy some of it. And but some of the things are just not a style I prefer. I didn't really like how they unfolded the flashback and the opening of the film with the freeze frames and stuff. I just it's not really my thing. Again, preferences there. But yeah, I check out the trailer, and if it's your thing, if you like a good ghost story or a good psychological thriller ghost story, then check it out. And again, really nice locations and in here, and I appreciate shooting in broad daylight and doing something scary. It's not something people do very often. But all the information you will need to know will be below to see it and check it out. I'm Mrparka. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.
5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, yuck. There's this one house I remember. I don't know if it ever existed or
Mom?
or I'm just trying to remember a place that's not there.
Mom, you're scaring me.
But it feels like forgetting something you know is important. You just have no idea what it was.
The injuries she sustained in the accidents appear to have aggravated from an old trauma, 20 years or more.
Scar tissue can impede long-term memory. Kind of like a splinter in the brain, just waiting for the body to push it out.
Hey, why are you here? My mom went crazy. She's not crazy. She just has a secret.
Oh my God.
You're the spitting image of your mother.
I can't remember.
Maybe spend some time at the house. I think it's an opportunity.
I'm not sure if I'm seeing things, remembering things, or someone's messing with my head.
The only person who knows what happened in that house is you.
You shouldn't be here. You've got to hide. He's coming.
Oh, happy day.